Am I audible? No? I thank Mulund Study Circle for giving me this opportunity to present my views on this amnesty scheme. Thank you, Sneha. Thank you, Forum. Today was an all-woman chairing the table, so that is also a privilege for me. So we start with the subject proper. First of all, why this scheme came, why the Maharashtra government has brought out the scheme again, because they had brought out in 2016, then again in 2019, and now in 2022. That will be GST, hopefully. So basically, what they have mentioned in the statement of objects and reasoning, which is given in the budget speech, that due to COVID, there are small traders are affected a lot, and because of that, to give them the benefit for a one-time settlement, they have come with this scheme. At the same time, they also want to reduce their litigations because maintaining the litigated file, the cost of that is too high as compared to the tax dues. So when they made the analysis, they realized that if we are giving this scheme, then at least our cost will get covered and all litigation cases also will be done away with. Because even today, lot of even today, so even today, there are a lot of cases prior to 2005 which are still pending, and it is the amount involved at some point of time is very less, and some people who had not taken benefit in the earlier 2019, because that time the orders, the assessment orders were generally till 15-16, mostly 16-17 and 17-18 were done on self-assessment. And then again, during the assessment of 16-17, 17-18, the officers have not properly considered whatever benefit we had taken in 2019. So even if by paying, by going through the scheme that time, still people are facing issues and problems in the 16, 17, 17, 18. So now they have come out, most of the VAT period notices are already issued, and thus now we just have to be after the officers for the assessment orders. So this is what they wanted, this scheme, so that the litigation is reduced. Then they also said that we cannot give benefit to only the small time dealers. So for big time dealers who have big liabilities above 50 lakhs and so, they came out with an installment scheme. All of us must be aware that during 2019 amnesty scheme, lot of representation was done for installments, which had not come that time. So this time they said, okay, this time we are providing the installment scheme, so even big dealers can take that benefit. But at the same time, they do not want to give benefit for undisputed tax liability, because then it will be an injustice to the honest taxpayers. So as far as the undisputed tax liability is concerned, they have not given any benefit. So now we go to the scheme. Now before going to the scheme, it is very important to know certain definitions. Okay, so what are those important definitions? First of all, applicant, who can apply. So as per this scheme, applicant word is defined. All the definitions are there in section 2. So applicant means a person who is liable to pay the arrears of tax, interest, penalty, levied or leviable under the relevant act, or any other person, including financial institution, who desires to avail the benefit. So not only the person who was registered under the MVAT, the people who were not registered under the MVAT can also take the benefit of this scheme. And also any other person and financial institutions, matlab the people who are not connected to the VAT Act, but still they want to get the benefit of this amnesty scheme for their related persons, they also can apply on behalf of those people. So anybody registered, unregistered, who is liable to pay. So person who is liable to pay is very important. that person whosoever applies is supposed to pay the arrears to the government. It is his responsibility. That person can apply. The second definition is about the arrears. It means the outstanding amount of tax, interest, penalty, as the case may be. Now, arrears is very important because that is the basic definition on the basis of which you are going to get the settlement amount, or the requisite amount, whatever you are supposed to pay under this scheme is being calculated on the basis of what are your arrears. Now, in the arrears, they have defined this time three things. One is that whatever is there in your statutory order, outstanding amount in your statutory order, outstanding amount of the returns filed, and outstanding amount of the recommendations of the auditor in Form 704. Only these three have been categorized as arrears. Apart from this, there is no other liability or no other dues which are categorized as arrears. If you all are aware, in earlier 2019 scheme, they had told that you can even self-assess yourself, which is done away with this time. This time only either statutory order should be there, any order, by assessment order, rectification order, review, appeal order, whatever, any statutory order, whatever is returns you have filed earlier. So the dues, if you have shown anything unpaid, then those dues are eligible for the scheme. And the recommendations in 704, if you must have observed, there are many people who have not actually paid the tax which was recommended in 704. So that also has been categorized as arrears. So basically, the benefit of unregistered person is given only to the statutory order, because returns, when you say returns filed, that means obviously that person is registered under MVAT. 704 file means that person is registered under MVAT. So if you are an URD or if you are unregistered and if you want to take the benefit of this scheme, then definitely you first have to go after passing of the statutory order, and then only you will be eligible for this scheme. Then there is disputed tax. It means other than undisputed tax. And undisputed tax they have defined is, the first is taxes collected separately under the relevant act. Whatever you have shown as tax collected under the relevant act, whatever act are covered here in, for this scheme, that we will come in the later slides. So what taxes collected separately, then taxes shown payable in the return, that is also undisputed tax. So the return dues, which the benefit of which is there in the definition of the arrears. So return dues is undisputed tax. Whatever you have shown in the return, the tax amount. Okay. Here only the taxes is there, not the interest and the penalty. Amount claimed by the dealer as deduction as per Rule 57. Now you all must be aware. I'll just refresh because MVAT we all are passed ho gaya. So what was Rule 57 was that you have not collected the tax separately on your invoice, but you are going to pay tax inclusively. Okay, so the invoice must be of 100, but when you file the return, you calculate inclusive method of tax. So that was Rule 57. So they say that whatever deduction you have claimed by way of this Rule 57, that is also undisputed tax, because it is as good as tax collected, only not separately, but inclusively. Then the amount forfeited under the statutory order. So in the statutory order, many times the assessment or assessing authority gives that this much amount is forfeited. You won't get the benefit even after paying the tax. So that if it's there in the assessment order, that becomes undisputed tax. Excess tax collection shown in the return. If you have collected excessively, which is shown in the return, then what you are required to pay, that is also undisputed. That any amount of tax determined and recommended by the auditor in the auditor report and accepted by the assessee either wholly or partly. Now we all are aware that 704, when we were filing, that time we were supposed to recommend what are the tax dues. Now the auditor used to recommend. It was not compulsory for the assessee to accept those recommendations. He may accept, he may not accept. Sometimes he may accept full, sometimes he may accept in part. So What is undisputed is whatever recommend. Suppose the auditor has recommended say 1 lakh of tax needs to be paid. The assessee says I am accepting only 50,000 rupees. So to the tune of that 50,000, it becomes undisputed. The balance 50,000 is disputed because that the assessee has not accepted. Now there are some examples of disputed. This slide I will come later on. First I will complete this undisputed. Undisputed means the tax deducted TDS by the employer under the VAT, that is also undisputed. If there was a judgment under the VAT wherein the whatever TDS the employer is liable to pay, he is supposed to deposit the tax to the government treasury and file the return. So the TDS which the employer, that was if you are aware, we used to file return 404, 424, form 424 we used to file for this TDS. It was related to the works contract basically. Then the tax collection made under section 31A, there were few items, few commodities on which the VAT was by way of TCS. So that also was is an undisputed tax. Then the tax payable by the enrollment, that is the PTEC, in the short form what we commonly know as PTEC. So PTEC tax is undisputed. Only there is benefit for interest. So if people are saying that what benefit the profession tax is giving, so PTEC or PTRC, the tax amount is undisputed, that you have to pay in full. The next is amount of disallowed set off under rule 52A, 52B of the value added tax, which is eligible to be claimed in the subsequent period. Now, what do you mean by this? Now, if you all are aware that in January 16, they had come out with this rule 52A, 52B specifically for mobile dealers and for soft drink retailers, wherein you cannot claim the full set off of whatever goods you have purchased. You can claim to the extent of whatever goods you have sold. So here they are saying that to the tune of the set off disallowed. Now, for example, I'll just explain in detail in the next slide, so you will have a better. They have come out with this clarification also in the trade circular, which is recently issued. They said that normally set off is available at the time of purchase of goods. However, in set of contingencies specified for the purpose of Rule 52A, 52B, the set off is available only in the month when the goods are sold. If the set off is disallowed by the authorities due to the goods not being sold or lying in stock, okay, then the set off is allowed when the goods are actually sold, right? So as per the government, there is no actual laws of disallowance of set off, and thus the same is to be treated as undisputed tax. Now, generally speaking, whatever disallowance of set off is happening in the statutory order, it is a disputed tax. We all are aware, right? But this particular disallowance of set off is undisputed. Why? Because the government feels that अभी नहीं मिलेगा तो बाद में जब goods sell किया है, that time too you can very well claim. So now how to reclaim this disallowed set off in the year of sale, that they have not mentioned anywhere. So now if I take this example, okay. If you will see this example, in the first year, the goods purchased quantity is 100. On that, the ITC claim is 100. Okay. Then the goods sold is 80. Purchase was 100, sold was 80. So the tax on that 80 was 120. So what is the ITC of the goods sold to the extent of 80? Because 80 was sold. So ITC was 80. So technically what should have been the tax payable? 120 minus 80, that is 40. But now what happened was that the dealer, either he was not aware or whatever, by mistake, he claimed the full set off in that particular return when he was not eligible, but still he claimed it. Okay, so then what he did, that he paid only 20 rupees because he claimed the balance 20 also. So 120 minus 100, he paid 20 rupees. 20 rupees was not, he was not allowed to pay, but still he claim that set off. In the second year, assuming there is no purchase, only the 20 which was there previous in the first year, which was the closing stock, that was sold. So when that was sold, on that the tax payable was 30. So now there was no set off available because full was utilized in the earlier period. So he paid the full tax amount 30. Technically he was supposed to pay 30 minus 20, 10. But because the full set off was allowed earlier, he paid 30 rupees. Now during the assessment of the first year, the officer says I will not allow 20 rupees because you have claimed wrongly. So he will pass an order disallowing that set of 20 rupees. Now, as per this settlement of arrears scheme, this particular 20 rupees, they are saying it is undisputed. So even if you go for this scheme, you have to pay this 20 rupees in full 100%. At the same time, they are mentioning that why they are giving this benefit is because when the goods are sold, at that point of time, you are going to claim the set off. Now, so they mean to say that when the second year comes, you will have to go and claim the refund of that 20 rupees. Are they going to give the refund of that 20 rupees? See, technically what is happening is there is a loss of interest. Like I was supposed to claim in the next year, I claimed earlier. So at the most, they can levy interest for 1 year, which can be disputed. But here what happens, they are completely disallowing in the first year and then they are saying you go and claim refund in the second year. So I think LNR chairman should make this representation. We have with us Ashit Bhai. So the government should understand this, that obviously when I have taken the set off by mistake in the first year, in the next year I have not taken. So interest jo lagega, they can take from us, no issues. But that benefit should be claimed. Now that no clarification has come for that purpose. So I hope we represent this. Then we go to this few examples of disputed tax. The tax which the first is the disallowance of set off, that is disputed. Then additional demand on account of non-production of declarations and forms, that is also they are considering disputed. Disallowance of claim of branch transfer or high seas sale, free sales, exports, deemed exports, sale in transit, that also is considered disputed. So whatever disputed, you are getting the benefit of this scheme. Additional demand on account of dispute in the rate of tax. The department is saying that you have to levy 12.5, while we are saying we will be levying 4% or 13.5 and 6%. If that is disputed rate of tax, it goes into the disputed tax. Enhancement in sales turnover due to either including the service income in the sales turnover or something like that. Then claim of labor charges disallowed in the assessment, tax levied on the service tax portion in case of works contract. All this they are giving some examples of disputed tax. This is given in the trade circular also. The next, so this 50 to 52B, I just wanted to highlight that was a precise reason I elaborated. Order of settlement, it means the order issued under this act for settlement of arrears. Requisite amount. Now this is very important. How to calculate, that is given in the annexure A and annexure B of the act. So what do they say is, it means an amount required to be paid by the applicant under this act and shall be the aggregate of the amount paid during the period specified of clause B, which is given in the table, towards the amount of undisputed tax and the amount of disputed tax, interest, penalty, late fee, whether levied or not, as determined under section 8 and 9. Now we'll come to that sections later on. So I'll explain to you at present only this much, that they want the aggregate amount of undisputed tax plus the disputed tax, and what benefit, how benefit, that is given in that annexure A or the table which is there in the section 10. We will elaborate this later on as we move ahead. Return dues means whatever returns you have shown, whatever tax payable you have shown in the returns, but it is unpaid till date, that they are the return dues. Specified period means any period ending on or before 30th June 17. They are not giving benefit to any thing after post 30th June 2017. So whatever acts were there prior to 30th June 2017, they are giving this benefit. So at present, whosoever are registered under VAT, for example, the petroleum dealers, the liquor dealers, they can claim the benefit till 30th June 2017. Post that, there is no benefit available till date. Then statutory order. What do you mean by statutory order? That they have specified whatever order is passed under the relevant act. Now, relevant act also they have specified, and whatever order is passed and raising the demand of tax, interest and penalty. They are very clear that there should be a demand for tax, interest and penalty in the statutory order. Then only that is covered here. So the refund wala order rahega, so that is not covered here. So in the earlier 2019 scheme, they had given the benefit that if you are in appeal for say 2-3, your statutory order basically is having a refund, but still you are in appeal for say 2-3 things. From there, one of the thing is a disallowance of set off. So you were allowed to claim the benefit of that one particular grounds of appeal, and even if the order was having a refund. Okay, here they were very clear that statutory order means order raising the demand of tax. Relevant act. Now, what are the acts that are covered? The Central Sales Tax Act, Bombay Sales of Motor Spirit Taxation Act, Bombay Sales Tax Act, Maharashtra Tax on Sugarcane, PTEC, PTRC, Tax on Entry of Motor Vehicles, Tax on Luxuries, Sale of Transfer of Property in Goods Act, which is 1989 wala thing. Then tax on entry of goods into local areas and MVAT, and also includes the rules or notifications made under this. Please be assured only state taxes are covered. The state excise is not covered, and the LBT is also not covered here. The local body tax which was levied by the municipality. The same was covered earlier in the 2019 scheme. Now, who are eligible to apply for this scheme? Applicant definition we already saw earlier, that the person who is liable to pay the tax, interest, penalty, whatever. So an applicant, whether registered or not under the relevant act, shall be eligible to make an application in respect of the specified period, that is prior to 30th June 17, whether such arrears are disputed in appeal under the relevant act or not. So appeal mein hai ke nahi hai, you are eligible for this scheme. Okay. Then applicant who has availed the benefits in any of the earlier scheme also are eligible. So if you have taken the benefit of 2019 Amnesty scheme, again this time also you are eligible to take the benefit of this scheme. So many times it has happened that due to the order passed during 2019, there may be wrong order passed, and because of which there are still dues pending for you to pay, you can take the benefit of this scheme. Then for settlement under this act, the conditions stated in section 11 and other provisions have to be complied with. That we will come, what is section 11 and everything will come as we go ahead. Now one more they have included here, that suppose the department is in reference against any of your appeal order. Now we all are aware that appeal passed by the first appellate authority cannot go into reference. Okay, but if you are in tribunal and against the tribunal order, the department is in reference in the court, or the tribunal itself, it is in reference with the larger bench, then, and if the applicant wishes to settle that order, so that benefit is also available under this scheme. So it means what? That we all are aware that VAT on service tax, that Nikhil Comforts, which is still in reference. So many of the orders they have passed, provided this issue is still kept on pending. Okay, now if the Nikhil Comforts decide, now the department is in reference against this, right? So if the Nikhil Comforts people decide that they want to take away that reference, then they can very well take the benefit of this scheme. But then in future, Nikhil Comforts will not be eligible for any sort of refund or anything, and the matter will be closed down there and there. But it does not mean that then you will lose the benefit of that VAT on service tax. Okay, just because the reference is pulled down by the applicant and not by the department, just because that is pulled down by the applicant, it does not mean the people who are in, because of that reference, who are still in appeal, it does not mean they will not get the benefit. Maybe they can continue further and fight, continue with the fight if they want to. Next is the determination. Now, here they are saying that how to determine the arrears. So the line starts with notwithstanding anything contained in the relevant act or under this act. Any payment made in respect of a statutory order, either in appeal or otherwise, or return dues or recommendations on or before 31st March 22. So any payment you have made before 31st March 22 shall be adjusted in the following sequence. So what they are trying to say is, suppose I have given an example also ahead, so we have a better clarity, that whatever payment you have made, see generally under the law what happens, that suppose under assessment order whatever dues are there, and if you are making any payment, it will first be adjusted towards your interest, then penalty, then tax. I'm sorry, I have forgotten the rhymes at present, bad say, but I think it is like that. The first interest, penalty, lastly the tax will be levied. But here they are saying the sequence is reversed. First benefit of the whatever you have made the payment will be against the undisputed tax, then the disputed tax, then interest, penalty and late fee. Now we all are aware that under the CST Act, we are supposed to pay 100% as a part payment. Okay, so if you have paid, the statutory order is say of 1 lakh dues, and your tax amount is 1 lakh, and you have paid the part payment as 1 lakh, then that complete 1 lakh will be adjusted against the 1 lakh tax amount. Now tax amount is disputed. Okay, the 1 lakh tax amount is disputed, but in spite of that, you will not get the benefit of the settlement scheme as far as the CST Act is concerned, where you have paid full 100% as part payment, but you will get the benefit in the interest and the other penalty and late fee section. So whatever amount is paid before 31st March, first will be adjusted against the undisputed tax, then the disputed tax, then interest, penalty, late fee, so on, so forth. The section 6B says that after the adjustment of this amount, whatever is outstanding, for that you can get the benefit of this settlement scheme. So whatever amount you have paid prior to 31st March is not allowed under this scheme. The benefit of settlement is not available to the amount paid prior to 31st March 22. So they say that after the adjustments of amount, whatever amount is remaining outstanding as on 1st April 22, or any demand raised for the specified period by any statutory order during the period from 1st April to 30th September. So they have covered the not only the statutory orders prior to 31st March, but even now, if the authorities pass the statutory order, then also you are eligible to claim the benefit of this settlement scheme. So orders passed till 30th September 22 are eligible to take the benefit of this scheme. But this is related to statutory order only. Okay. Now suppose somebody says that I have not filed the returns earlier, but I want to file now, then that benefit is not available, because you have to file prior to 31st March 22. Then only the benefit of this scheme is given. That also next will come. So returns has to be filed prior to 31st March 22. 704 has to be filed prior to 31st March 22. And then in that, if there is any pending amount, then for the interest part, you can get the benefit of this scheme. Now, this is an example. Okay, suppose the statutory order is of tax amount 6 lakhs, interest is 5 lakhs, penalty 1 lakh, so total 12 lakhs. Now, you are in appeal against this statutory order, suppose, and you have paid a part payment of 2,50,000, or you are not in appeal, but in spite of that, just to stop the recovery action, you might have paid some tax amount, say 2,50,000. It's not necessary that it has to be a part payment. It can be any payment made before 31st March. So you have paid 2,50,000. Then the outstanding amount for settlement will be the 6 lakhs. Now we assume that this full 6 lakhs is disputed tax. Okay. So in then the benefit available will be 6 minus 2,50,000. That is 3,50,000 in tax amount. 5 lakhs for interest, 1 lakhs for penalty, that is 9,50,000 will be available for the settlement benefit and not 12 lakhs. Now, suppose the amount paid before 31st March is 6 lakhs. Just as I said that under CST Act, you were supposed to pay full 100%. Then in that case, the amount outstanding with tax amount may nil. You will not get any benefit under the tax amount. But yes, for the interest, it is 5 lakhs. Penalty 1 lakh, so only 6 lakhs is available with you. If the return is filed prior to 31st March 22, and if that return dues is say 5 lakhs, interest you have shown in the return 4 lakhs, so total 9 lakhs, and amount you have paid prior to 31st March was 2 lakhs. So for balance is available, that is 7 lakhs is available for the settlement. Same way in auditor's recommendation, that is 12 lakhs, you have tax amount, 5 lakhs is paid, so balance 7 lakhs is available for your benefit. They have to file before 31st March, now they have missed the bus. Yes, that will come. So any arrears less than INR 10,000 and or any post-assessment interest which is not levied till date will be written off. So they are very clear that post-assessment interest not levied till date will be written off, and any arrears less than 10,000 will be written off. One more thing now I would like to highlight here, which I said that I will look into about this requisite amount. When they say that it is the aggregate of the amount paid of the undisputed and disputed tax, it means that undisputed tax, they want that the dealer should pay in 100%. Okay. And disputed tax only benefit will be given. So when we see in this example, if we assume that the above first statutory order, when the tax dues are 6 lakhs, we presume that 3 lakhs is for undisputed, 3 lakhs is for disputed tax. Then this 2,50,000 will first be adjusted for the undisputed. So then the balance there available will be 50,000, which you have to pay in full. And the balance 3 lakhs rupees, you will get the benefit of the settlement. Okay, so settlement में 9,50,000 के बजाय 9 lakhs हो जाएगा. And there is one more thing here. Yeah, in this point number 2, amount of disputed tax, interest, penalty, late fee, whether levied or not. What do you mean by whether levied or not? Because we have seen arrears में क्या क्या covered है, तो statutory order cover है. Obviously, everything is tax is levied in the statutory order. Interest is also levied. Penalty is also levied. Return dues are there. There also you are levying the tax, and if at all you have declared the interest also there, that also is there. Then whatever auditor's recommendation. So then why they have given here whether levied or not? Any clue? See, basically what they want is that when we'll go further ahead, whenever you are declaring the return dues, okay, so you have declared say 1 lakh tax in the return as unpaid. Now in the return at that point of time, you have declared the interest of say 1,000 rupees, but the same thing is still unpaid till date. Okay, then as per the act, you have to calculate interest till today, the day you are paying and day you are claiming the benefit of the scheme. So suppose if you are paying today, which is say 23rd April, then the return which you have filed earlier till date, that much interest has to be calculated. That is what they have said, whether levied or not. So now section 8, it's determination of this tax. It says that requisite amount payable towards settlement of arrears as determined under section 6. So requisite amount as determined under section 6. So then in the 6, they are very clear that only outstanding amount will go for the settlement of arrears. So it says that will be as follows, where the said tax is undisputed or disputed, then the extent of payment of such undisputed tax, disputed tax, interest, penalty, and applicable waiver in respect of the same as specified in Annexure A and B. So how you will determine the requisite amount is you have to look into Annexure A and B, and requisite amount will be of the arrears which is as determined in section 6. So that is how they have given that. First they have given how you will determine the arrears, then how you will determine the amount of the requisite amount which you have to pay, and then balance you can claim the benefit. Now there is one notwithstanding clause which is given in this 8B. It says that notwithstanding anything contained in section 8 and 9. So section 8 and 9 जो act का है, anything contained in that were arrears determined as per section 6 as per any statutory order is of rupees 10 lakh or less, and if the applicant opts for payment of lump sum under one-time payment option, then the extent of lump sum and applicable waiver will be as specified in Annexure A and B. Now, when I will go to Annexure A and B, there, if you will see in Annexure A and B, there is one benefit given to the statutory order dues less than 10 lakh rupees. Okay, so here they are saying, because in section 8, they have very clearly stated that there will be no waiver for undisputed tax. Okay. So now suppose a statutory order is 10 lakh and less, but in the same, the amount forfeited is given as 4 lakhs. Okay. Now amount forfeited is undisputed tax as we saw earlier. In such a scenario, what happens is that technically you are supposed to pay full 4 lakhs, but because the order is rupees 10 lakh and less, this benefit is available and you can claim the benefit of that 20% payment of the requisite amount and 80% waiver. So only, and that what is given in Annexure B, the power is taken from this section because this particular clause starts with notwithstanding containing in section 8 and 9. Payment shall be made in MTR 6 challan or whatever challan is applicable in the relevant act, and has to be made before 30th September 22. Now they have very specifically said that payment made before 31st March shall not be considered as payment towards the requisite amount. So whatever payment you have done after 31st March, that can be considered. Just while we were having this lovely Mr. Pau, somebody asked me that they have filed an appeal and they have made the pre-part payment in April. So then that requisite amount benefit will be available to them because it is a payment made after 31st March. Under any circumstances, the applicant shall not be entitled to any waiver in respect of undisputed tax. Now, they have very clearly said in section 8, And that is the precise reason why clause B is starting with the notwithstanding clause. So that statutory dues or arrears less than 10 lakhs can claim this benefit. So there was a question. Okay, now people have actually missed the bus, but there was a question that suppose my order is say 10,50,000 rupees. Okay, so if you had paid earlier 50,000 rupees or say 51,000 rupees, then your order would be less than 10 lakhs and you can get the benefit of that 20%. But now today, as on today, if the order is 10,50,000 rupees, you cannot get the benefit of that. Why I'm saying this is because they have very clearly said that the arrears is the outstanding amount. And as we saw in the example also, so people who are having an order of say 10 lakhs 200 rupees, then also they are losing the benefit of this scheme just because of that 200 rupees also. They have given a very short time. So again, request they should extend this time so people are actually aware, because scheme came in March itself and there was hardly any time to realize what is the scheme about, and that benefit is also lost. Per order. Now, subject to the other provisions of this Act, applicant shall be entitled to the waiver of whatever disputed tax, interest, penalty, late fee to the extent as prescribed in Annexure A and B. And then where the applicant has made the payment which is less than the requisite amount as determined under this section, the designated authority shall compute the proportionate amount of waiver and sequence of adjustment of amount remains the same. And no application shall be rejected merely on the ground that the payment made was less. Now, if we all are aware, there were many issues during the 2019 where the requisite amount paid was less as per the authorities because of their misunderstanding of the reading of the Act, of this sequence specifically, because they were adjusting interest against interest instead of following this sequence. So there was a lot of problems in 2019 scheme. So now they have clearly said that it will not be rejected, but proportionately it will be adjusted. But the sequence they have to follow is first towards the undisputed tax, then disputed, then interest, and so on and so forth. So even if you have paid interest as a part payment, because earlier, if you are aware, in 2012-13, part payment included not only the tax but also some portion of interest also. So in that chalan you are having tax amount as well as interest, but the whole amount will be adjusted towards the tax only. Now they are giving the options of how and the duration of the requisite amount. They are saying that requisite amount shall be paid under one-time payment option. Benefit of installment is given only to the dues above 50 lakh rupees. And the duration and the submission of application is as follows. As you'll see the table, that first of all, when are you supposed to submit the application? Application you can submit commencing from 1st April 22, ending on 14th October 22. So time given for the application is till 14th October 22. And the requisite amount is to be paid commencing from 1st April to 30th September 22. So for amount payment of tax, it is 30th September. For making application, it is till 14th October 22. Now, if you are taking the benefit of the installment scheme, then they are saying that minimum 25% of the tax amount needs to be paid before 30th September 22. So if you are taking the benefit of the installment scheme, what they are saying is 25% आप भर दो, बाकी का है जो you have to pay in 3 equal installments within 9 months from the date of the application. See, it is from the date of the application. So suppose if you are applying on 31st May and you are opting for installments, so at that point of time you are paying 25%. Okay. And then within 9 months, you have to pay in 3 equal installments, the balance 75%, that is 25, 25, 25. That is what they are expecting. So suppose if you are doing the application now in May, then the 9 months will get over by 2 February. And if you are paying the installment amount, say first requisite amount in September, then the 9 months will get extended again to that extent. Okay. Then appeal, if pending, needs to be withdrawn fully and unconditionally. They are not offering part withdrawal this time. Complete withdrawal of the appeal needs to be. So even if you have a doubt that one grounds you can win and one grounds you are going to lose, either you forgo that winning portion and withdraw the appeal fully, or you still be in dispute for all the grounds. Another the benefit or settlement scheme they have said is that there is, suppose you have a refund under VAT and that refund is adjusted against the CST dues. Okay, so during the asset assessment, this refund is reduced, and because of that, there are CST dues. There are actually not any CST dues as per the CST assessment order, but because the refund which you have adjusted against the VAT is reduced under the VAT Act, so now they are CST dues. In such a case, if you have filed the appeal under both the laws, then you need to withdraw the appeal under both the laws. Okay, if you say that you will withdraw only under VAT, why? Because you are on that, because your set off is disallowed and because that is a disputed tax, so you will withdraw only under VAT. Then under CST, then you will not get the benefit of this scheme. You have to withdraw both the appeals. Why? Because the dues are under the CST Act. So what they are saying, that wherever there are dues, you are supposed to apply, correct? Under the VAT, there is a refund. So when and that is adjusted against the CST dues, so your VAT statutory order is 0, right? But your CST is having dues, and for that you are in appeal. And you are in appeal in VAT also because your set off is disallowed and you want to allow that set off. In such a scenario, what happens is, I will show you with an example. Suppose MVAT refund in returns is say 100 rupees. CST dues are 200 rupees. Okay. Then the adjustment, how it is, the adjustment of the MVAT refund in the CST return is of 100. So tax paid is of 100, and that is tax payable will be 0. Now during the assessment, the MVAT refund is reduced to 25. In that case, if you see the last column, which is the assessment column, in that case, CST dues remains the same, that is 200. But the refund adjusted will reduce from 100 to 25. Okay, so and the tax paid remains the same, obviously 100. So then there is tax payable, say 75. On that, interest is calculated 50 and dues are 125. Now you are in appeal because that 75 is disallowed due to disallowance of set off. So you are in appeal under VAT also and under CST also. If you withdraw only the CST appeal and not the VAT appeal because you feel that you will still get the benefit of the set off, then this full 75 will be considered as undisputed tax, because technically it is your tax, CST tax collection, which is reduced because of VAT refund. But you are not withdrawing your VAT appeal, that is still intact. You are withdrawing only CST appeal because you want to take the benefit. The benefit, then in that case, that 75 rupees will be treated as an undisputed tax and you will have to pay full 100% of that. And 50 rupees interest, you will get the benefit of the settlement scheme. And in case the CST dues is less than 10 lakhs, then in that case, again, that notwithstanding clause will help you and you can take the benefit of that 20% waiver. I think we'll first go to that Annexure A and Annexure B, then we move ahead to other sections. Now, what does Annexure A and Annexure B says? Annexure A is for after 1st April 2005 till 30th June 2017, right? In that, there is amount paid and amount waived. So in amount paid, there are two parts, one-time option and installment option for dues above 50 lakhs. So when there is one-time option, payment option, it says undisputed tax 100% you have to pay, disputed tax 50%, interest 15%, and penalty or late fee 5%. So this is the benefit which they are giving under the amnesty scheme. 50% tax benefit they are giving, 85% interest waiver, 95% penalty and late waiver. But undisputed tax 0% waiver. If you are taking the installment option, in that case again undisputed tax is same 100%. Okay, disputed tax is 56%. Instead of 50%, you have to pay 56%. So they are collecting interest portion from you as it is because they are giving the benefit of installments. And interest penalty remains the same 15% and 5%. So this is what is the amount which you are supposed to pay. That is the requisite amount which is to be calculated. The amount waived, obviously, whatever balance is there is your amount waived. There is this Annexure B, which is for prior to 2005. Here, the only difference is in the disputed tax. Earlier, it was 50%. Here, it is, no, sorry, in disputed tax, that is 30%. Interest 10%, penalty and late fee 5%. Penalty and late fee is same under both before and after 2005. Tax may after 2005 50% hai, but prior to 2005 they have given 30%, and interest may after 2005 15% hai, but prior to 2005 they have given 10%. And under the installment option, instead of 30%, the tax payment is 34%. So this is what is the requisite amount calculation. As I said earlier, post-assessment interest or penalty leviable, but not levied till date is completely waived. So not levied till date is very important. And when the amount of arrears as per any statutory order, now this 10 lakhs benefit is given only for statutory orders, not for written dues, not for Form 704. So even today, if you feel that you have written dues unpaid, go for the assessment of that year, compel the officer to do the assessment of that year, see to it that if the dues are less than 10 lakhs, then you can claim the benefit. Otherwise, you have to pay the return dues in 100%. Arrears, I have already explained, outstanding amount of tax, interest, penalty as per any statutory order. So now this is what is about. Till now, any questions about the requisite amount or anything? So otherwise we move ahead, or question answers will take last. Application. Now how we are going to apply for this? Okay, separate application for each class of arrears for each financial year. You have to have a separate application. This part for 1 year, if you feel that you have one statutory order, for other year also you have another statutory order, different application for both the orders, also different application for both the acts. If you want to apply for VAT and CST both, then two different applications. If you want to apply for two separate financial years, then again different application. Delay up to 30 days may be condoned for application, provided the requisite amount is paid before 30th September 22. Now, suppose you have paid the amount before 30th September, but somehow you are not able to make the application, then delay up to 30 days is condoned. Then if you are going for the amnesty scheme for the return dues which are unpaid, then separate application for each return or revised return to settle the return dues, or a single application may be provided if the applicant desires, suppose एक ही साल के return में there are 2-3 returns where there are unpaid dues, then in that particular financial year you can combine all this amount and make one single application. Otherwise, if the returns pertain to different financial years, then separate application qua return. So if you have MVAT return payable, separate application, CST return payable, separate application. If you have TDS return payable, separate application, profession tax return payable, separate application. This is how things will work. An application will be accompanied by the proof of payment of full settlement amount if opted under one-time option, and minimum 25% if opted under installment option. So if this is not there satisfied, then the full benefit of amnesty settlement scheme will not be available. The officer might give you proportionate benefit. ₹10 lakhs is available only for statutory orders, not for returns. So that is what I said, that if you want to go for 10 lakhs benefit, you have to go after the officer and make the assessment, get the statutory order. Yeah, order passed till September is allowed. So you can now also you can go and have make the order. Order will be passed by the proper officer within 3 months from the last date of payment under the schemes chosen. Thus, if it is one-time payment option, the last date of the order will be 31st December 22. So if you are, what they are saying is the last date of the, within 3 months of the last date of the payment. So last date of the payment as prescribed under the Act is 30th September. If you are going under one-time payment option, the order will be passed within 3 months of that time. That is within by 31st December 22, the order will be passed. That is the last date to pass the order. So even if you are applying now, say in April month, the officer has the liberty to time till 31st December 22 to pass the order. If you are going for one-time payment option. But if you are going for installment, then the last date of payment will be within 9 months from the date of application. From that date till 3 months further. Okay, so that will be your date by the time which officer will have the time to pass your settlement order. Amount waived will be deemed dischargement of liability against all the dues which is for which you are claiming the settlement. Proper officer may reject the application if it is found that the application is not proper, but only after giving an opportunity of being heard. Without that, they cannot reject the order. And if at all the order is rejected, even after opportunity of being heard is given, and if you have withdrawn the appeal earlier for getting the benefit of this scheme, that appeal will be reinstated. And whatever requisite amount you have paid, that will be considered as payment towards your dues. Rectification of the order can be made within 6 months from the date of receipt of the order, either on his own motion, means either the applicant can make a rectification order, or the officer is also having the power to rectify the order. But it has to be within 6 months from the date of receipt of order. And no adverse order can be passed without opportunity of being heard. So even if the officer says, "Yare, mere se galti ho gaya calculate karne mein, I have given you more benefit, you are supposed to entitle to less benefit," and he goes for rectification, then opportunity of being heard is given because he's going to reduce your benefit. Appeal also can be filed against this order within 60 days of the receipt of the order. So for appeal also you have 60 days, for a rectification application also you have 60 days, and there will be no second appeal. It will go only till the first appeal. And other sections are that once the order is passed under this act, it may be reviewed by the commissioner on his own motion at any time within 12 months from the date of service of order. So ऐसा नहीं है कि एक बार settlement कर दिया तो आप चैन की नींद सो पाओगे, because the commissioner has the power to review your settlement order. At the same time, they say that the order of settlement issued under this act shall be conclusive, and the matter will not be reopened in any proceeding except, they have given an exception, except any proceedings on account of specific observations made by the CAG of India. So if there are any specific observations, then only the cases will be reopened. Otherwise, whatever cases for which you have opted for this settlement, that will cannot be reopened. But above they said that whatever order has been passed, that can be reviewed. So settlement order can be reviewed. It can either reduce the settlement amount or reject or revoke. That can be done. But once the order is passed, the proceedings cannot be reopened unless specific observations by the CAG. Order will be revoked within 2 years from the end of the financial year in which the order of settlement has been served, if it appears that the applicant has surpassed any material information on particulars or by furnishing any incorrect or false information. And then again, once the order is revoked, the original status which was there prior to the application of the settlement of the scheme will be reinstated. So एक बाजू वो लोग बोलते हैं कि proceedings reopen नहीं हो सकेगा, but at the same time, if they found that you have given some incorrect information, the order passed will be revoked. नहीं, if you have say undisputed tax है, but आपने disputed में डाल के उसको pay कर दिया है and taken the benefit of the settlement scheme, that is furnishing false information. If they come to know later on that you have furnished this false information, then your whole order will be revoked. That is what they are saying. If suppose by chance बाद में कमिश्नर ने देखा, ऑफिसर को तो पटा लिया, कमिश्नर को नहीं पटाया, तो फिर उसने देखा. Under no circumstances, the applicant shall be entitled to get refund of any amount paid under this act. But if the order is rejected, the amount paid will be treated as amount paid towards the dues. I'll just have water. तो अगर ऑर्डर रिवोक हो जाता है तो आपको रिफंड नहीं मिलेगा, यू विल नॉट गेट द रिफंड, बट यस वो आपके ड्यूज के अगेंस्ट एडजस्ट हो जाएगा. एडजस्ट मतलब इट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज योर ड्यूज पेड. Then one last, they have given that the commissioner has the power to issue instructions as he may deem fit to his authorities for carrying out the purpose of this act. And also, if they find that there is any difficulty arising in this order, then by special order, they can, amend the provisions of this act. But at the same time, both the House of State Legislature consent is also required, and whatever amendment they want to make in this scheme should not be made after the expiry of 1 year from the date of commencement of this act. This act was commenced from this 28th March. So from 28th March to 28th March 23 they have the time to amend any of the provisions of this act if they find that there is any difficulty arising. Annexure A, Annexure B we already covered. So now we move to the form, because Prashant had told me that I am supposed to cover the form also. So yeah. So what are the documents that are to be attached with the form? See, when you start filling the form under the payment, this thing sheet, they have this two things wherein they have given what all documents you have to attach. Okay, so if you are making against the statutory order, there are two separate forms prescribed, Form 1 and Form 1A. Form 1 is for statutory order dues and Form 1A is for return dues and settlement of arrears dues. So for statutory order, you have to upload copy of statutory order, original order of withdrawal of appeal if you have withdrawn the appeal, or acknowledgement order is not received, withdrawal order is not received, and the copy of acknowledgement of withdrawal of appeal. That also will do, and copy of self-certified challenge of amount paid after the due date order till the 31st March 22. Okay, see, whatever requisite amount you are going to pay now, wo to hai, but at the same time, self-certified challenge of payment which you have paid before 31st March 22, that also you have to upload. So for statutory order, three things: copy of statutory order. If you are in appeal, then appeal withdrawal order or acknowledgement for submission of withdrawal, and whatever amount you have paid prior to 31st March, those challenges. And if you are going for Form 1A, that is return dues, following documents, that is copy of return, revised return, audit report recommendation, that audit recommendation ka page tha na, first page, that page you have to upload. You are not supposed to upload the full audit report. That first page, that is letter of submission and part 1 of your audit report. Copies of self-certified challan, if any, you have paid prior to 31st March 22. These are the documents we have to attach with the application. Then they have given the benefit for this unregistered dealers. So for that, they have given the facility how to log into the portal, because there is no direct access. You have to create a login ID and then only you can apply for this application or for this scheme. So they have given a facility of pen-based profile creation. Okay, there is a tab. See, in the manual, if you will see now, they have given that profile called unregistered dealers. But at present, that tab is not seen. In the other, if you will go to MahaGST website, in the other act registration, there is one tab for URD registration. So at present, the URD, if you are unregistered under any of the relevant acts, then you have to go through that tab. There they are asking for your PAN number. They will validate your PAN number, and on the basis of the PAN number, they will give you an 11-digit UIN, which will start from 77. See, your MVAT or whatever number starts from 27, right? This particular UIN will start from the 77, and it will be an 11-digit UIN, which you will get it. And on that UIN, you have to apply for the scheme. If you have created login during 2019, then you should be using the same login ID. Okay. And if you have forgotten the login ID, then under the What's New tab, there I have given the list of the login IDs which were created during the 2019 scheme. So from that, you will get your login ID. And for password, of course, you have to opt for that forgot password and go ahead. And for TIN holder, obviously login ID is your TIN number, but password, if you have forgotten, you have to go through that forgot password. And if you, because when you go through that forgot password, it asks you for the security questions. And if you are not aware of the security questions, then you have to mail to the help desk. There's a particular format. You have to mail your PAN number, your registered mobile number, registered email ID, your TIN number, and you have to ask for a new password. That mail should go from your registered email ID only. Okay, and then on that email ID, they will send you a new password. Now, this is the Form 1A, which is for return dues. In that, first of all, you have to select whether you are a TIN holder or you are an UIN holder. Okay, so whatever you select, then you have to select whether it is pre-2005 or post-2005. Then under the dues, if you will see, they have given three options. One is up to 10 lakhs, one is 10 lakhs and 50 lakhs, and the third is above 50 lakhs. So whatever are your arrears, as per that you have to give the benefit, not as per your statutory order dues. So if your statutory order dues are say 12 lakhs, but you have made the part payment of say 2 lakh 50, then you can opt for that less than 10 lakhs wala thing. So here, please select properly what you want to opt for, because the whole calculation will be based on that. Then you are not eligible only if you have not filed the return. This is specifically for return dues. Then you have to see what category it is, whether you are going for one-time settlement or whether you are going for installment option. And that installment option is open only if you select above 50 lakhs. Above 50 lakhs अगर आप ऊपर select करते हो तो ही नीचे installment option open होता है. Otherwise it is only this one-time settlement option. Then, because this is form 1A, which is for return dues and auditor's recommendation, you have to select what you are paying for, whether it is for return dues or whether it is for auditor's recommendation. Once you finish this, then you have to click to proceed. We'll come to the next part, which is the form 1A. In that, you have to write which authority you are applying the application to. This is very important. Your nodal officer name, address should be there. Okay. Then who is applying? Whether and in what capacity you are applying. Suppose you are the director of the company, you are applying say ABC, director of ABC Private Limited. If you are an authorized signatory, write authorized signatory. If you are a proprietor, write proprietor. Then they have given all the relevant acts as drop down box. So you have to select which act you are going for, whether MVAT, CST, whatever. Then the next comes general information. In that general information, the name will get auto-populated. Then you have to write the MVAT act or the UIN number, whatever is given to you, you have to write there. Then the registration number under the relevant act. Now, why they have given these two things? Sometimes what happens that suppose you are applying under the UIN number because say you are unregistered or whatever, and at the same time you have had an earlier number under some act, say MVAT act or another relevant act, that number also you can write here. This is not compulsory, but you can write here. Generally the registration number and this will be the same, but here the benefit is given that any other person or financial institutions also can apply. Okay, so if that other person or financial institution is applying on behalf of some person who was already registered under the MVAT act, that registration number can be given here. You have to write your PAN number also, that is compulsory. Then address and PIN code is also compulsory. Email ID is compulsory. They have given in FAQ also, one person is asking, what if I do not have the email ID? Then you have to create one. You have to get it registered under the your registration number, because here you have to write your registered email ID. So email ID is compulsory of the applicant, mobile number, and the period for which the settlement is sought. Once you go again, click to proceed. Then this can see this will this sheets will open one by one, and if there is any error in the sheet, then there is one message sheet which see here, if you will see messages down. So if there is any error in any particular sheet, it will not go allow you to move towards the next sheet. First sheet is the instruction sheet, second is the scheme para. Once you fill the scheme para, then only form 1A will open. Once you fill the form 1A, then only general information will open, and so on and so forth. Then after the general information is filled and you click to proceed, this category 1 will open because you are opting for return dues. I have opted here in this for the return dues. In that case, you have to see first information, one-time settlement, and the period for which you are opting will come automatically, because And also mind it well, the date format is very important, because if you are not filling the date format properly, it is not allowing you to go forward. Okay, so date format is very important. Then you have to mention for which return period you are applying. Here I have mentioned May. So I'm applying for May period. The return is original return. The tax payable as per the return is 5 lakhs. Interest payable, I have not shown any interest as per the returns. So that is 0. Late fee is 0. This is the thing which was there in your return that you have to display here. Okay, and this return has to be filed on or before 31st of March 22. You will be seeing it is mentioned in the form also. Then whatever amount of tax or interest you have paid prior to 31st March 22. So here I have shown, again you have to write the period of the return. It has to be for the same return. Say I have paid 2 lakh rupees on 20th June 2020. So that I have to mention here. Moment I do this page will open. It's in the same page. I have taken in 2 slots. So then total amount paid will be 2 lakh rupees. Return dues were 5 lakh rupees. The next C, it says outstanding amount of tax, interest or late fee as on 1st April 22. So as on 1st April 22, my tax amount outstanding is how much? 5 lakhs I have shown in the returns. 2 lakhs I have paid before 31st March, which will be adjusted against that 5 lakhs, which is the undisputed tax. So my balance amount of undisputed tax will be 3 lakh rupees, because these are the return dues which are undisputed. Then interest payable I have to calculate, because in the returns I have not shown any interest. So as on today, when I'm making the payment, I have to calculate the interest from the date of filing of the return, or the not filing of the return, but the date I'm which liable to pay the tax till today. I have to calculate interest. I have to show here the amount. So which I have shown 4 lakhs. Earlier I had not shown any interest amount. Now I have shown here 4 lakh rupees. And then when you fill this amount, the full block has to be filled. 0 0 भी fill करना है. अगर आप you do not fill 0, then also it will not go forward. So you have to fill the full row. When you fill this amount, you will see the outstanding amount will get automatically calculated in the table down below. Okay, and then you have to, because you have mentioned that 3 lakhs is undisputed, the one in the yellow will also come automatically. 3 lakh भी automatic आएगा. नीचे you have to calculate the interest amount, how much, and बाजू में वो waiver will be calculated automatically. So whatever is colored portion will be calculated automatically. So this is what, once this is filled, you have to again click to proceed, and your payment details will come. Payment details में they have given 2 bifurcation. First is before 31st March 22 जो आपने payment किया है, you have to give that details. The second box is after 31st March, that is after 1st April, आपने जो भी payment किया है under the settlement scheme, you have to give that details. After filling up this payment details, again click to proceed, and you will get this declaration wherein you are declaring that whatever you are stating correct, yes, no, you are saying what is the name of the applicant, that everything will be auto-populated except the place. Place only you have to fill, baki rest is auto-populated from whatever details you have filled earlier. And from here, the text file is generated, which you have to upload. And this text file will be generated on your desktop. And then you have to upload that file from the same desktop. You cannot copy paste this file in a pen drive and take it to another desktop or a device. Okay, it has to be wherever this text file is generated, you have to upload from the same device. Now this is the UIN number. I have just given that UIN number hai. So if you select that it is a UIN number, then you will be given option that what you are, whether you are any other person or whether you are a financial institution. I have opted here financial institution, and then baki ka things are the same as we saw. Now if you will see in the next general information, I have written the registration number, which is the UIN number. At the same time, I have also written the registration number, MVAT number, for the person for whom I am applying. Okay, because I must be applying on behalf of somebody. I cannot just apply like that, right? So uska registration number bhi maine likha hai. So there you can write that. Balance everything is same. Same way statutory dues का form है, form 1 है. Here also the first is the option. The first is the same. Whether tin holder है कि UIN है, again post or pre 2005. Then whether statutory order के arrears. Again arrears, please mind it well. It has to be arrears and not your order dues. So don't just blindly see order 12 lakh hai to about 10 lakhs mat likh dena. Please see what part payment is done and on that basis only fill this form. Huh? Up to 30th September it is allowed. वो तो पता ही है कि whatever order dues उधर order dues आएगा, but prior to जो आप अपील में हो उसके लिए ये, then you have to write whether appeal is filed or not, or and if it is filed whether it is withdrawn fully or not. Okay, so the first tick is for dues for which appeal is not filed. The second is appeal is filed and withdrawn fully, so you have to take that. So unless and until या तो आपने अप्लाई किया है विड्रॉल के लिए या विड्रॉल का ऑर्डर आपके पास है, तब तक you cannot go for this settlement scheme. Then again the same thing, form 1, whatever was there in form 1A, same way you have to fill this general information and details. Whatever period you are opting for, again the same thing, you have to give your email ID, phone number, everything. Then here, because this is a statutory order, you have to give the designation of the authority who has passed this order. So that is very important. If you will see in that part B, I have written that designation E716, that is the designation. Then designation of the nodal officer in charge of the one for which you are going to the settlement. But there may be the order must have passed by a different authority. जो settlement के लिए है वो अलग authority है, तो वहाँ पे they have given drop down boxes. So from that we have to select. So I have selected Deputy Commissioner. Then date of the statutory order. When is this order passed? Option for payment of requisite amount. If the dues are above 50 lakhs, then only that installment option will come. Otherwise, this one-time settlement option is only coming. Next is first appeal number or second appeal number. You have to write the appeal number also. Okay, now with because appeal are filed now online, so see to it that you write the correct appeal number which is given to you. Designation of the appellate authority is also there. Also drop down boxes are there. You cannot just write any designation. You have to write from that drop down boxes. So your appeal authority has to be somebody from that drop down. If it is a joint commissioner, see to it that it is F. Now, because here my statutory order was by a deputy commissioner, appeal is by a joint commissioner. So I have to select F. F wala, matlab CST appeal F003 or whatever. So these are very, here the option is not given. Drop down boxes are given और उसमें से ही आपको select करना है. Date of application of withdrawal before the appellate authority. I have given that 20th April को मैंने withdraw कर दिया है, and period of the statutory order. And if you are having the withdrawal order in your hand, then you have to write the withdrawal order number and date and everything. Okay, so see to it that when you are uploading the application, if you are having your withdrawal order with you, you please fill this completely. Then you have the tax interest penalty as per the statutory order. यहाँ पे आपको as per the statutory order के dues ही देने हैं. Next is if you have paid any amount prior to 31st March. तो वो क्या पे किया है, मतलब whether you have paid the tax, whether you have paid the interest, that you have to give here. See, I have paid tax, so I wrote tax 1 lakh rupees. The next is you have this doesn't come automatically. You have to actually write that what is the amount outstanding from that statutory order. So above आपने पे किया है tax, तो फिर statutory order out उसमें you have to bifurcate between undisputed and disputed tax. Here I have taken full disputed tax, तो मेरा order tax में 10 lakhs है ऊपर, but I have paid 1 lakh. So now my disputed tax will be 9 lakhs, and interest again the same what was there in the order, that is 9 lakhs, and the penalty also same, that is 20,000. Now in case the order is passed on or after 1st April but before 30th, then the amount of tax and interest outstanding as per that order, that you have to write it separately. So above जो है वो prior to 1st March का जो order है उसके लिए है. If the order is passed after 1st March, then 1st April 22, then you have to mention in the second column. Next is the details of settlement, requisite amount, amount of waiver जो भी है. The first column will be calculated automatically, which will be taken from whatever you have filled in that outstanding wala thing. It will not come your statutory dues. Whatever is outstanding will automatically get filled up here, and then you have to calculate the tax amount. Undisputed रहेगा वो auto fill up आ जाएगा. Disputed you have to calculate and put the figures there. And see to it that whatever figures you are putting here, for example, here it is 5,86,000. Payment of the challan also should be exactly 5,86,000. If it is less, the form will not go. It will, the text again, it will create a error message that the payment made amount you is less than what you are claiming here. Again, the payment option, whatever you have paid before 31st March, you have to write above. Whatever you have paid after 31st March, you have to write down. Then same declaration will come and you have to generate the tax file. So this is what is about the forms. I've taken some important FAQs which I thought I will share. I know, see, generally what happens that we do not have time to read. So whatever is relevant and important, I have thought I'll share it with you. What will be the size of the document? It has to be 2 MB and maximum 10 documents are allowed to be uploaded only in PDF format. JPG is also not allowed. So PDF format, 2 MB and 10 documents. Then date format, as I said, it has to be DD stroke MM stroke YYY. If it is showing this error message, you have to go to the control panel of your device and change the date format there to DDMMYY. Now, after generating the text file, I have opened the file, renamed it, and I am uploading the renamed text file. It will not get uploaded. Do not rename the text file. Do not change the device. See to it, it has to be from desktop. You can take to any other folder in that same device. That is allowed. But if you copy paste in another, say you take it in pen drive, then you say अरे घर पे जाके upload करूँगी मेरे laptop से, तो वो नहीं होगा. ऑफिस में create किया है तो ऑफिस से ही upload करो. Now I am having trouble while uploading the text file received through email. So you cannot email the text file also. ऐसा नहीं है कि text file generate करके आपने किसी को email कर दिया and then that person will upload. No, it has to be uploaded from there only. If I don't have any email ID, then also you have to have an email ID and you have to create it before filing the application. An acknowledgement, they are saying that you will receive the acknowledgement on email ID and also message will be sent to your mobile that you have filed the amnesty application. So see to it that you do receive the message and you receive the email of acknowledgement of filing of amnesty application. If not, then please generate a service request and raise a query for that. Don't think आएगा 1-2 दिन में. नहीं. Immediately you raise a query and keep a proof that you have applied and your acknowledgement is not generated. So that's it. Thank you for your attention. Any questions? Letter is there. This time they have not given, but you can stick to the format which they had given to in 2019. Yeah. I don't. Can there be? Yeah, there can be. If the amount is forfeited in the statutory order, then if you have shown excess tax collection, if that is there in the statutory order, then yes, they are on undisputed tax. Huh? Deferment for what? Acha, incentive. Any statutory order. Yes, yes, any statutory. Any statutory order. One question I would like to highlight here, somebody has asked me this, that suppose you are having an assessment order, you have filed an appeal is remanded back. Okay, then you have to have a reassessment order with you, because that earlier assessment order is set aside. So वो नहीं चलेगा, that will not stand. So if the appeal is remanded back, please see to it that you go for the reassessment order. Then only you will be able to apply for this. Do not apply on that original assessment order. No, it won't be forfeited. It will be adjusted against your interest and everything. So 10 lakhs का जो dues है ना, उसमें से 5 lakhs minus कर दो. 5 lakhs is there for settlement. हाँ. 5 lakhs. Yes. So see, I'll explain to you. कि जो 10 lakhs आप बोल रहे हो ना, उसमें टैक्स अमाउंट कितना है, इंटरेस्ट कितना है? Will let's not go penalty, टैक्स और इंटरेस्ट ही लेंगे. तो टैक्स कितना है? Something will remain. That is what I am trying to tell you. No, why it will be forfeited? It will not be forfeited. That is what I said. 10 lakhs में आपका 3 लाख का टैक्स है और 7 लाख का इंटरेस्ट है. सपोज बहुत पहले का ऑर्डर है, तो assuming like this, I am just telling you, and you have paid 5 lakhs, so 3 lakhs आपका टैक्स का गया, 2 lakhs इंटरेस्ट का गया, तो इंटरेस्ट 5 लाख बचा. In that of 15% still you have to pay to get the scheme. That is what I am saying. हाँ 20% पण चुका मग 20% भरू. I'll go for 15% only, कारण કે મારું इंटरेस्ट अमाउंट જ છે. सॉरी, तो गुजराती में बोले, तू भी गुजराती में. That option is there ना. 10 lakhs में कंपलसरी 20% में जाना नहीं है. Yes. So what Prashant is saying that अगर interest में 10 lakhs से कम है तो I will go for 20%, but that 5 lakhs is of only interest amount. So why will I go for 20%? Because interest में तो मुझे सिर्फ 15% pay करना है. So I will go for 15% payment only. I will not go for 20%. That's how. और अगर खाली penalty बचती है तो मैं 5% ही भरूंगी. Then also I will not go for this thing. Yes. Yeah, of एक मिनट, देयर ही रेज, जोर से बोलना. That is disputed. Disputed. Assessment. Yeah, but here they are saying certified copy of challan. Yeah, I agree, but then I think you can upload it and I mean, ask the permission of the authority. That is not clarified anywhere. They have said challan. So if challan is not there, then we need clarification. They have. You see, there is a way actually to bring the challan, generate the challan is because the department is having the scroll number of each and everything. You have to get the scroll number from the bank, and then the bank will, that scroll number you have to submit there, and that challan you will get it. There was some particular format also, annexure A something, which you get it from the bank for that challan. That format which we are following when we are applying for the 25,000 security deposit scheme. उसमें वो scroll number के basis पे they used to giving us. So maybe that can help. ऑर्डर में तो आपको उसका ऑलरेडी बेनिफिट मिल गया है ना, ऑर्डर में तो मिल गया है बेनिफिट. उसमें तो वो टैक्स डिडक्ट करके दे आर गोइंग टू गिव यू द बैलेंस ड्यूज. This is after order. If you have made any payment, then that, yeah. So part payment, basically major problem will be in the CST appeal, where at present you are supposed to pay the 100% tax amount. So there apna full tax is going away. Baki, they have given the manual also very nicely. They have explained everything with screenshots. They have given the trade circular and explained with examples in that. So, you know, you can take the benefit of that also. Yeah. If the order is passed, then there is no interest calculation, because post-assessment interest is waived. If only written dues are there, then you have to calculate interest till date. Yes. That waived to gaya, waived. That only the officer. I think they had given the list of the people whose assessment were waived. I think. Yeah. Now तो you have to go and check with the officer only. और या तो फिर उसका जो असेसमेंट का नोटिस का टाइम चला गया रहेगा, तो देन यू आर एट अ बेनिफिट. I am aware of that, but that too you have to confirm from your nodal officer. That's what I said, that site पे display था, but then you have to confirm from the nodal officer.
When after assessment, that is for the authority. So the authority will calculate the interest with the date of October or after.
If you are after passing the appeal order, then yes, obviously the appellate authority will calculate interest till the date of the appeal. But if you are withdrawing the appeal, then your original assessment order interest will stand. जितना अपील में है ऑर्डर करवा लो, जितना असेसमेंट में है ऑर्डर करवा लो. That's the only thing now. Even if it is written dues, go for assessment. I would advise that. Yeah. Post assessment interest is completely waived if it is not levied. पोस्ट असेसमेंट मतलब स्टैट्यूटरी ऑर्डर रहता है, स्टैट्यूटरी ऑर्डर में जो इंटरेस्ट है वो ही रहेगा. यू डू नॉट हैव टू कैलकुलेट द पोस्ट असेसमेंट इंटरेस्ट. No, completely only the statutory order dues are to be counted. There is no post assessment interest, it is completely waived. Please remind. Yeah. For 10,000, no, you have to calculate full 18,000 and 20%. You can claim the benefit for interest, no? And they have specifically said that if you are liable to be registered under the relevant act, then you have to take the registration and then apply for application. So PTC, PTRC, if you are liable to register, आपने किया नहीं है, तो first register yourself and then you apply for the earlier dues का settlement scheme. या आई एग्री. 4 साल तक का अभी आज आप ले रहे हो, आज आपको अप्लाई करना है सपोज प्रीवियस 4 years का, तो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू टेक द रजिस्ट्रेशन, देन ओनली यू कैन अप्लाई. No, they have to apply for the registration if that person is liable to pay the PTC even today. तो पहले register करो, बाद में scheme के लिए apply करो. For unregistered person, yes, no benefit. Amnesty नहीं मिलेगा, but they are saying that if you want to apply, you're liable and you want to apply, so first you have to register, then only you can apply.
So PTC, PTRC, now we have to say the PT, facts of the PTRC for last 2 years. But the scheme is available up to the tax time for the period of 30 June 2007.
That only they were discussing. That the benefit is not available, ना. PTC, PTRC में एक तो tax amount undisputed में जाएगा. Correct. So if you are taking the registration now, today, so you will get पिछले का तो आपको वैसे भी you are not liable to pay the tax. So as it is no point going for registration or whatever.
There is no use of because they are not very important.
Yes. VAT number is cancelled since when? No, VAT number is cancelled, but from which period? Huh? So, but you are having your login ID password, no? Login ID password is there. All VAT numbers are cancelled. Okay, so thank you very much. And as I mentioned, picture abhi baki hai, so there is always something or the other. Thank you so much, Deepali Mehta. Session was wonderful in simple and lucid language, and I'm very sure that all Mulund members would avail this benefit of VAT amnesty by filing and not wait for the due date. But just to give a formal vote of thanks, I would request core committee members, CA Forum Bhanushali, to do the honors.
Thank you, Sneha. It's been almost 5 years that the GST Act has come into existence. And since then, I think barring a few members, all of us have lost the track of the VAT Act. The current amnesty scheme has forced all of us professionals to travel back again to the VAT Act and get all the pending demands solved. I'm sure we all would agree that looking at the confusions and the ambiguities among the professionals, it was the need of the hour to have a session on the Maharashtra amnesty scheme. Ms. Deepali Mehta has given extreme justice to the subject by giving maximum examples wherever required. She has helped us again to refresh the VAT provisions. I, on behalf of the entire Mulund CP Study Circle, Core Committee, as well as the members, offer a very well-deserved vote of thanks to Ms. Deepali Mehta for sharing her views on the amnesty scheme and clearing all the ambiguities among the members. Deepali ma'am, thank you for your time and efforts. We are always grateful to you. Thank you so much. Now I would request all the members to kindly raise for the national anthem. Thank you.